So a while back, I did a video comparing the three Pro telephoto zoom lenses for micro four thirds. Those being the Panasonic 35-100, Olympus 40-150, and the Leica 50-200. I really recommend you watch that entire video sometime, especially if you're considering any of these lenses, as I touch on tons of stuff, including stuff I've never heard anybody else talk about. Anyway, this video is a bit of a follow-up to that one. At the end of the day, I didn't need two, let alone all three of these lenses. So which one did I keep? Well, after making that video, I was finally able to make that choice to decide which one was right for me and what I do. And that lens, it was the Olympus. But the reason I went with the Olympus had less to do with the Olympus itself and more to do with the other two lenses in contrast. So I bought the 35-100 a while back and used it for a lot of interview type projects and even a film or two. It is super great, don't get me wrong, but the range and the reach on the telephoto end, it wasn't my favorite. So once I had saved up a bit, I picked up the Leica 50-200, which blew me away. Honestly, it was probably the best lens I had ever handled up to that point. It was just really awesome. Problem was that lens, and I know this is gonna sound kind of dumb, but it wasn't wide enough. I mean, the 50-200 range is full on telephoto, and for the type of work I was doing with it, more often than not, I wasn't able to zoom out far enough to capture the entire stage of a play, for example. I often found myself struggling for which lens to reach for. The Leica for being parfocal, the Panasonic because of its brighter aperture, the Leica because of its greater zoom range for flexibility, or the Panasonic because of its compact size, and on and on. I hate being stuck between two pieces of gear, not knowing which is going to be right for the job I'm going to. Then the Olympus was brought back to my attention. See, I hadn't really considered the Olympus for a while because starting out on the GH4, there was no IBIS to help that lens out for Panasonic cameras. But now, with the GH5, it suddenly became more viable. I mean, I looked at that zoom range, the aperture, and all its other features, like the manual focus clutch, and it all suddenly hit me. This was essentially the perfect middle child between the Panasonic and the Leica. It was just as fast as the Panasonic, and was wide enough for events and plays I did, but also had that extra range on the long end. I mean, not quite as much as the 50-200 obviously, but pretty close, and without needing to stop down to f4 to do it. I really don't value size as much as some people do. After reviewing the footage and creating my ridiculously long video, my answer was pretty easy. The Olympus solved all my problems when it came to choosing between those other two lenses. I mean, I think my biggest issues I have with it are that it doesn't perfectly match my other Leica glass, like my 10-25, and I really wish it was a little bit more parfocal, but I was more than willing to work around those points in order to use this lens and the other features it does give me. I mean, other than the Leica 10-25, this is close to my second, maybe third most used lens in the last year or so. Anyway, guys, I seriously do recommend you watch the entire Pro lens telephoto zoom battle before making up your mind for sure, but I really do think the Olympus was best for my specific needs, but it certainly is not a one-size-fits-all still. If you made it this far in the video, I assume you liked it, so please hit the like button. It helps out a ton. And while you're down there, let me know what you think of the Olympus, or, I mean, any of these other Pro telephoto lenses. What are you using, or what are you looking at? I would also ask you to consider subscribing if you liked what you saw here and you want to see more and get notified when my new videos go live. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next video. But only if you subscribed. That's how it works. I don't know. Maybe YouTube will recommend them, but I don't know. I don't trust them.